My name is Jabez Wright, and I came to the Firelands in 1808 from Copenhagen, New York, about 80 miles north of Syracuse. Now, Almond Ruggles was a Connecticut surveyor who worked on the original crew for the first survey of the Firelands in 1806, but there were problems with that survey, so they hired Almond to manage the team to do it again, and he hired me and Simeon Hoyt to help him out. Now, maybe I should explain to you exactly what I mean when I say the Firelands. In 1792, the state of Connecticut granted 1,870 Connecticut families with 500,000 acre tract of land in the western part of the Western Reserve. These are families from Connecticut towns like Greenwich, Fairfield, Danbury, Norwalk, New Haven, East Haven, Groton, Richfield. Their lands and homes had been burned out by the British during the Revolutionary War, and hence the land granted to them in the Western Reserve was called the Fire Lands. Well, after the survey was finished, Simeon and I built a log house on the bend of the Huron River. He eventually returned to Connecticut, married a widow with 7 children, I think. Moved the family to Clarksfield. But I, on the other hand, stayed right here in Huron. Married Almond's niece, Tamar, in 1811. And I found work as a land agent for William Winthrop. He was a land speculator from New York City. He had bought up so many of the claims of the fire sufferers that he ended up owning most of Huron Township. And when it came time to sell, well, that's where I came in. Tamar and I had 5 children, Winthrop, Douglas, Lucy and Abigail, and Ruggles. And I was given a 400-acre piece of land right on the lakeshore, about a mile west of here. And we built on that land the township's first 2-story brick home. In addition to working for Mr. Winthrop and farming, of course, I also served as the township's Justice of the Peace, a judge for the Common Pleas Court of Huron County, which at the time was both Erie County and Huron County combined. And I even served 2 terms in the state legislature. Now, this is where my history gets a little bit tricky. You see, I believe slavery to be a sin against God and man. The very idea of owning another human being is morally repugnant to me. Now, others felt as I did too. The Quakers in Ohio had been assisting fugitive slaves since the 1780s. Other Ohioans followed suit in 18-teens, and I joined them, particularly when we moved to our lakeshore house. Now, even though slavery was outlawed in our state's constitution in 1802, Ohio was very aggressive in preventing any freed blacks or escaped slaves from entering our borders. There are plenty of Ohioans who are ready and willing to return escaped slaves to their owners, hoping to collect a reward. They were supported by the U.S. Congress when they signed into law the Fugitive Slave Act of 1793. This law gave authority to local governments to seize and return escaped slaves to their owners and penalized anybody who would assist them in their flight. And given my role as a law keeper in these parts, I was taking a grave risk. But I could not stand by given the barbarity of this infamous practice. Our house had 8 rooms and a basement. And there was a secret room in the basement that led to a tunnel, 16 foot wide by 90 foot long. And I would lead fugitive slaves through the tunnel, which came out to our corn crib, then opened out to a road that went to the beach about 100 foot north. There, rowboats would take them to ships awaiting the fugitives out on Lake Erie, and the ships would then take them to Canada and to freedom. Now, sometimes fugitive slaves would just stay with us for a while, and then they'd make their way to Sandusky or Detroit, hoping to find a ship to take them north across the border. I would even hire fugitive slaves to work for me. One such fellow, James, was with us for several years. Unfortunately, his owner had come and claimed him, but he escaped again and returned to us. Now, I had hired a young woman to be my children's teacher. James was the first black man she had ever seen. You should have seen the look on her face. Yes, well, I met my maker in 1840 in December. I was 61 years old. I had left early in the evening and was heading into the village to do some business. And I slipped and fell 80 feet down the bank, hit my head on some timber in a crib that I had built on the beach. And I tried to crawl back up the bank, but it was very cold and I had lost a lot of blood. I didn't make it. Well, the waves came and washed my body out into the lake, and I was found the next day. Well, that's my history. Thanks for listening, and I hope you have a good day.